now call this meeting of the Amateur Detective Club to order. I'm Tristan Miller, the saucy sleuth. Forgot what I was saying.
I am Melissa Meli, the spy.
I'm Tyler Riley, cop and a half.
Today's show is brought to you by Audible. Audible is offering our listeners a free audiobook with a 30-day trial membership. Just go to audibletrial.com/adcpod and browse the unmatched selections of audio programs. Download a title free and start listening. It is that easy. Go to audibletrial.com/adcpod. We made it through the first season of Poirot. We're on the first and second episode. It's a two-parter of season 2, or series 2, if you will. If you won't, too bad I've said it.
Woo!
Yep, it's an adaptation of the book Peril and In the Hills.
Or, for those who don't speak whatever accent Tristan just did.
Perhaps South African.
Perhaps. Peril at End House.
Yeah.
We read this book.
Yeah, you can go back.
It was great.
Yeah, it's a one that's still on my iPhone, because I'm like, maybe I should listen to it again.
Yeah, we did like it very much. The book was originally published in February 1932. And the episode aired in, I believe, 1990. Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Yep. It was the first book that they adapted for the TV show.
Oh, that's fun.
Yeah, little piece of trivia there for your very deep cut trivia nights.
We should do a Poirot trivia night.
Yeah.
That would be fun. We should host it. We shouldn't participate.
We would lose anyway.
Yeah, precisely.
There's definitely people that know more about Poirot than us, the people who do a podcast about it.
Yes. We're experiencing these things for the first time. That's how we engage with the audience.
We're amateur detectives.
Listen, we are the amateur detectives. We do not pretend to be your professionals.
Absolutely. So what is the...
Let's jump into it.
Yeah.
We're going to do a little summary for you.
Yes.
Brought to you by Agatha Christie Wiki.
Yeah.
Take it away.
Detective Hercule Poirot and Captain Arthur Hastings are holidaying when they meet a young girl who casually mentions that she has escaped certain death at least thrice. Poirot suspects that somebody is out to get her, and his suspicions are proven true. He finds many characters that are shady and may have some reason to kill the girl. Despite Poirot's best efforts, a murder does occur, but not of the intended victim. When the motive itself is unclear, why did the murder take place?
Dun dun dun, sha-na-na, you gotta my oh my, you gotta kill the girl. That's the only thing I can think of. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I didn't know where
Where's it going? I was like, what?
And here we are.
Yeah, go.
So the episode
really
begins.
Yes.
Poirot in a dope fit again. Amazing. Hat on hat on hat.
And they're in a helicopter, right?
He's not wearing three hats just for...
Yeah. It's an airplane.
Just for the record.
Oh, an airplane.
An airplane.
It's
And
a small one.
Yeah.
Yes, it's a puddle jumper. And I absolutely identify with this moment. I hate flying. It's the worst.
Poirot hates it too.
Yeah, I white knuckle much as he does most of the trip.
He was not having it. He had his eyes closed, and Hastings kept asking him, "Oh, don't you think that it looks like what? What did they say?
Quilt.
Like a tapestry or something? A quilt? Yeah. Don't you think?" Everyone's like really chill, and Poirot is just closing his eyes, all tensed up, shoulders around his ears. No, I don't think so.
It's really good because, like, he keeps going, "Would you look out the window?" And he keeps just going, "No! No!" It's very fun dialogue.
And also it reminded me that David Suchet and Hugh Fraser are just perfect in this show. They really do a really fantastic job all the time. In case we haven't talked about that enough, because sometimes their guest stars they're hit or miss.
Yeah.
They're hit or miss.
I can't wait to see Michael Fassbender. I keep bringing this up. I cannot wait for it.
Oh, he is in one, huh?
Yeah, he's in, like, one of the ones, like, near 2000. Yeah, he's a very young man.
Wow.
Yeah, still has that BDE, though, even as a young man.
What's that?
Big.
Oh, right.
Yeah.
I forgot about... Okay.
Yeah. So, basically they land. They're on a holiday. It's great. And then they meet this seemingly bonkers woman who is so charming and nice. But she comes up to them after Poirot rolls his ankle because he doesn't have his cane on him. He trips.
They're on the beach.
Yeah, at this unstable ground, as the Bible song will tell you, never build a house on a beach. It'll go away. So anyway, he rolls his ankle, and she helps him back to Arthur Hastings.
At a table.
With
some chairs.
Who's just been, like, reading a newspaper or whatever.
Probably. That's what he's mostly doing all the time.
The life to be, like, a veteran that just hangs out.
They're also, gosh, beachwear. Oh, beachwear in these, in this show. Mm-hmm. Because everyone is in, like, their normal dress.
Yeah, in a suit.
Oh, especially Poirot. Poirot is always in a suit on the beach. Mm-hmm. Whereas Hastings will, like, put on a polo shirt and a weird hat.
Yeah. I love it because it's similar to, like, Mad Men, where he's just in a full suit at a pool in Los Angeles, and I'm like, you must be so warm.
Yeah. Oh, it's wild.
Actually, if you're used to it, it's not that bad.
Okay. That's fair. I assume your body adapts.
Yeah.
I guess.
I wore, like, 2 to 3 piece suits, like, for an entire summer up in the Berkshires for work.
Oh.
Where I had to be outside a lot.
Okay. All right.
You
Fair
you
enough.
adapt.
Adapt and overcome.
Okay, I was like, why just for fun?
No, it was for work.
Tyler loves looking
it
dope.
Yeah, I know, it's true. That's why I was like, did you just go through a phase? Please let this be something you did independently.
We should do a Twitter thread of Tyler's dope suits, because he has many of them.
His jackets, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Lasers.
Yeah, like, I was a house manager for 7 years, and I had to wear suits, so I have a whole lot.
Yeah, it's great.
But, so...
Yes.
We've helped Poirot back to the table. They're conversing with...
Nick.
She introduces herself as Nick. She owns the house that you can see over yonder.
At the end of the road.
Yeah.
End house, if you will.
End house. And then she says that she has like almost died 3 times this week. Just like, la-di-da, incidentally. And then as they're sitting, someone a white man, asks her something.
Challenger.
Yeah.
Oh, George Challenger.
Who is a Navy man.
Oh, sure.
Mm-hmm.
He says he thinks that a wasp has just flown by her head.
A bee.
No, she believes.
Yeah.
Oh, she believes.
Yeah, this is before Challengers come over.
Yeah. He's like, there's drat bees.
Oh, yeah.
These bees, you coveted bees.
And so she puts her hat down, and then Challenger calls her, and she goes over.
Yeah.
And says goodbye to Poirot and Hastings, and then Poirot picks up her hat and is like, there is a bullet hole.
Yeah.
So
this is a great exchange. There's 2 things that Hastings says that's absolutely, like, so addictive. He's like, oh, what a nice girl. And I'm like, can you not be horny for, like, a second? Can you just calm? Can you slow that roll, Arthur Hastings? 2, when Poirot is like, there's a hole in his hat, and he goes, did you do that? Like, it's like, yes, I absolutely just punctured a hole. Like, why would he?
Hastings.
Yeah, and then he shows him the bullet, and he's like, oh, no.
Someone really is trying to kill her.
Mm-hmm.
So how do they get over?
They walk.
Oh, that's right. They don't make an excuse. They just walk on over.
Well, they're returning the hat to her because she just left it on the table.
Yeah.
Sure.
Like a silly Billy.
Because, Hastings is like, oh, are you in love with her? And Poirot's like, no. I think there's gonna be a murder. This is my jam.
Yeah. So, they go to this house.
Yes.
They go to this house, and they're trying to figure out what's going on. A painting almost fell on her. Like, a big painting above her bed with a big frame.
Big frame painting.
Would have hit her in the head. And
Clunk.
at least very painful.
BFE, if you will.
Big frame energy?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
But.
So, who do we have in the house?
We have Poirot and Hastings. We have Nick. We have Freddie, her best friend, Nick's best friend. Mm-hmm. We have 2 other schmucks that are very...
The Crofts.
Yeah, the Crofts.
Mr. and Mrs. Croft.
Yeah, which are very skeezy. No, I didn't... But there's also 2 other men. There's the captain and his wife. No, there's captain and another friend that's around all dancing together.
Oh, yeah, I don't know who those people are.
With those mysterious watches, which we'll come back to later.
Oh, is that not Freddie? Freddie has got the watch.
Yeah, Freddie. Then there's 2 men, Challenger and another man, whose name we don't really get.
Okay.
Off the top.
But Nick's closest near... Nick's closest relative, her closest living relative, is a lawyer, Charles Vyse. Yes.
Maybe that's the other.
No, we don't. We haven't met him yet.
Okay.
We meet him at his office.
Yes, that is correct.
But he's around-ish.
Yeah, where Poirot is like, goes to Nick, do you have a will? She's like, yeah, I guess.
Because she had appendicitis, like 6 months beforehand.
In March.
Sure. And he says, you know, so they had told her, you need to make a will just in case surgery goes bad.
Yeah.
Because...
Yeah.
And so she's like, oh, all right, I guess I should. But she clearly was not very concerned about it. Anywho, she lived through that surgery, clearly. She's here now.
I do think it's worth mentioning that the house, end house, is quite damaged. Like, it is quite run down.
Oh, yeah, it's real creaky.
She makes a point to talk about, like, how she, you know, doesn't have that much money.
Mm-hmm.
And that her cousin handles most of her affairs and, like, makes sure that she stays within budget.
Yeah, because she doesn't care.
Yeah.
She's just kind of, like, living her life, you know, she doesn't really want to concern herself with such matters.
There's a husband and a wife who are from Australia.
Yes, they're Crofts.
And they live next to the property. And the man has the worst Australian accent I've ever heard in my life. The wife actor...
Did you just almost say the female?
Yeah, the female actor.
The female.
Yeah, the female actor.
The female of the Australians.
Yeah, here we see a male and female Australian in their almost natural habitat. Quite capable. Sounds like she's from Queensland. Whereas I know he's trying to do like a real roughneck, like out in the bush Australian accent, but it's just not good. It's so sad because like it's so funny because when English people try to do an Australian accent, it's so rarely good. It's so funny. But they meet these rough Australian people who make them watch slides of Australia, which is absolutely amazing.
Yeah.
It's like, would you like to see some pictures of Australia? And before they could say no, he's already gotten it out. But the wife is unfortunately disabled and can't leave the home.
Right.
Which is a part of it in some way later on, I believe.
That's a little fuzzy in my mind.
Yeah.
We'll get there.
Full disclosure, I fell asleep during the second episode. I did not have time to rewatch it. I missed like the middle chunk. I woke up for the big parlor reveal in time.
That's okay.
But it was one of those things of like we had already read the book.
Yeah.
So I think we can piece it together.
Yeah.
But I was just so exhausted.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Full disclosure, I also fell asleep.
Oh no. Okay,
but I did.
I mean, the thing is, I did also.
We're so bad at this.
Tristan, you gotta cut that part out about you falling asleep, except we all did. So yeah, you have to.
Just sleep. 3 sleepy detectives.
No.
This is a long week, y'all.
Okay.
Number 1 Sleepy Detectives Agency.
That's it. We're changing the name of the podcast.
Absolutely. So they meet the Australians and they go and meet her cousin, the lawyer.
At his office.
Yeah, and basically they're like, she has no assets other than the home, which is where we learn that, and that's fine.
We got some racism at the top of the episode again. Where we had... There's this through line about this pilot that is flying around the world.
Yes.
Michael Seaton.
Around the world.
And honestly, this guy sounds really hot.
Yes, he's meant to, Melissa. He's meant to be like the sexiest boy. Like,
I know. He really sounds... Yeah. Anyway, go on. Sorry.
Just like
there's like some question about like where he is now because he like kind of lost contact.
Where in the world
and
is
then,
Michael Seaton?
And then Hastings is like, perhaps he got stuck in the Pacific Islands or something. And Poirot just goes, cannibals, immediately.
Oh, yeah.
I'm just like, oh, word?
Yeah.
We're already there.
Yeah.
Which I think is a nice thing in as much as, like, people are mean to Poirot because they're, you know, xenophobic, but Poirot also stinks. He's got bad views of other people.
Yeah.
Which is part of that time, and you gotta just
No, absolutely. I'm
power
not saying,
through
like,
it.
oh, how dare they? It's just
Yeah.
like, you're better than this.
Yeah.
Unfortunately.
Get a little perspective.
Next, they talk to her about the ways she's almost been killed.
Okay.
There was the boulder, there was the painting, and then there was the brake lines in her car.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, side note about Michael, what is Seaton? Yeah, he's meant to be the hottest thing, as is the character of Nick. She is meant to be very hot as well, and is. And so it's like one of those two things of like, oh, clearly they're a match, which is something that's very important that they keep setting up.
Yeah.
Like, oh, it makes sense that these two really charming, hot, interesting people would be
Get together.
Yeah. Something they don't really explore in this episode that is outlined in the book of, like, Nick's uncle or grandfather was just a wicked weirdo.
Her grandfather,
yeah, and he owned the house, and there's this kind of thing with the servants, like, we think this house is cursed.
And we get the reason. So Nick's name
Yes.
is actually Magdala Buckley.
Yes.
And she got the nickname Nick because that was her grandfather's name.
The nickname.
Yeah. Oh, I just got that.
Yeah, that's fun.
Yeah. So, her grandfather, the guy that everyone thought was kind of shady, his name was Nick, and she was just like him. So, she also was called Nick. Big Nick and Little Nick or something like that when they were both alive. Yeah. Anyway.
Poirot suggests... He suggests, I think I might be jumping a little bit ahead.
Okay.
Where he suggests that she invite her long-distance cousin.
No, that's absolutely where we are.
Okay.
Yeah, that's where we were.
Maggie.
Maggie, to stay.
Mm-hmm.
But I forget exactly why.
She needs someone she can trust around.
Yes.
Yeah,
Okay. Yes.
Yeah.
Sorry.
And she's she's the only real other person in her family anymore besides the lawyer.
Right. And I think that they set it up in the book a little bit better.
Yeah.
But yeah. So
as
she's
soon as
like,
you said it, I remember the conversation.
Yeah, in the book, she's actually planning on paying a visit anyhow.
Mm-hmm.
Right, but she asks her to come early.
Exactly.
That's right. That doesn't happen in the...
No, they just send for her. And we get, like, no scenes with her in this.
Yeah, she talks like... She says, like, 2 words.
She's like, I'm cold.
Yeah.
End of thought. End of sentence.
Yeah, anyway, so
and Horndog Hastings, is all about Maggie when she shows up.
Oh, God, yeah, of course. But anyway, she comes... and so Nick is,
What a time.
Dark-haired and pale. And so is Maggie, as makes sense, as they're cousins.
Yeah.
They're wearing their hair pretty similar.
Yeah.
And so they're having like a party with fireworks.
Yeah.
And it's
some
cold.
sort of
kind of like summer soiree.
Yeah, but it's summer in England, so it gets pretty cold
Chilly
after sundown.
Sure.
And Poirot's afraid he's gonna get sick because he doesn't have boots on, and he's like the moisture from the ground.
Yeah. It's like, how cold is it? My goodness. But at any rate.
2.
2?
2. It's too cold. It's
no.
Okay. It's also like 2 degrees.
Oh yeah,
it's
I'm
2.
like 2 of what? The number 2. Okay.
Both.
Yeah, gotcha. So they're sitting down to dinner, and someone comments, "Nick, you never wear black. Why are you wearing black?"
Yeah.
And she's like, "Well, the cleaners messed it up." And she's also wearing the sparkliest red cape.
Yeah.
It is
regular Phantom of the Opera over there.
Magical. Like, it is straight up it's like superhero cape. Like, you would wear it if you wanted to wear a cape in a race.
Mm-hmm.
It would be great.
If I was a captain, I'd marvel at it.
Oh.
There it is.
It feels like something like you would find in like a costume department of a theater, like a community theater. Which, can I be honest, a lot of the costumes, they're great in this, but they do seem like theater costumes. It's very fun.
Yeah. So...
Like, it's so silly.
Yeah. But, like, it is spangly and, red. And so she sits down to dinner. They have dinner. They go out to watch fireworks. Everyone's getting cold. Just everybody's freezing. And so Maggie's like, I'm going to go get my coat. And then Nick is like, you know what?
Freddie yells after Maggie to go get her coat.
And there's no response.
And then Nick was like, she's not going to know where it is and she can't hear you, so I'm going to go.
That's right. So then Nick follows not long after Maggie goes inside.
And then Poirot is like, I've had enough of this.
Yeah, fireworks. And doesn't Poirot just hate on the fireworks?
Yeah. By the way, a man after my own heart. I do not enjoy fireworks. They're too much. They're too much. You
never feel like a plastic bag floating in the wind, do you?
No. No, I don't.
Yeah.
But, well, I do want to start again. That is the thing.
That's an American Beauty reference. Right?
Was it?
Katy Perry.
Yeah, it was. Baby,
you're a firework.
No, I meant the paper.
Yeah.
That's
do
how the
you
song
ever
starts.
feel
like a plastic
bag floating in the wind?
That's also
wanting to start again. Yeah.
Okay, that's an American Beauty. The plastic bag floating in the wind is an American Beauty reference.
Most likely, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay, so I didn't know that's how the song starts.
I should take the opening from American Beauty and put Firework by Katy Perry under it instead of whatever that piece of classical music is.
Yeah, sure.
Claire de Lune, I believe, again.
Yeah.
Which is a banger. Oh,
God, Claire de Lune. Yeah.
There are times where I'm just like, I gotta play this on a loop for my own sanity, please.
Amazing.
Okay, so basically Poirot's like, I gotta get in there. I hate the fireworks. My feet are cold. And Hastings like, you know what? You're right. And you can, as they're walking to the house, you can see their breath. It is very cold.
Yeah. So there's then on the steps
a
dead woman.
Oh no!
Wearing a black dress.
And a sparkly cape.
And a sparkly cape.
Sparkly red cape. It's like, oh no, Nick is dead. And then Nick shows up
in the doorway
with wearing like a little fur cape, and it's like, oh, that's not Nick, I guess, probably, since Nick is standing right there. And they turn her face up, and it's Maggie.
Yeah. Zutulor.
Yeah.
And
terrible shock.
Yes.
Merde.
That is a curse, just in another language.
To our French speaking listeners, oops. Uh-oh.
Okay, so I can't curse in any language is the rules of the podcast.
Well, I don't know about that.
Okay.
Oh, what are our rules?
What are the rules? First rule of Amateur Detective Club is no rules, just right. Outback Steakhouse. Here we go, buddy. So, what happens next? Is that the end of the episode? No, they have
like
more.
A good 20 minutes.
Are
we still in the first of two episodes?
Yes, we are.
Fortunately, not that much happens in the second episode.
No.
And or we slept through half of it.
We can skip a lot of episodes.
So they go. Somehow Nick ends up in the hospital.
No, so she's like going into protective, like.
Yeah,
right?
she quote unquote is ill.
But we have this very awkward moment when the body is discovered where Challenger comes over.
Mm-hmm.
And it was like, Nick, I thought it was you. And it was just like, how? How did you think it was her? It was very confusing, very shady.
Yeah.
Also, Challenger is so in love with Nick.
Yeah.
It's very sad and strange.
And she even, Poirot even picks up on the fact that she encourages his affections.
But does not return them.
Yeah, and has no intention of doing so, no. I believe.
Right, because she said, why on earth would the two of us get married? Like, we haven't a bean between the two of us.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So
I'm thinking about beans in between people.
Doesn't she?
Well, I've been there.
Oh, and she remarks that she now has nothing to live for.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
With her
cousin being dead.
Yeah.
And
she spirals.
Like, that seems like a bit much. because she was so happy-go-lucky, like, yesterday. And so, so she goes into this, what looks like the hospital wing in Harry Potter. And Poirot's like, no one is allowed to see this woman except you, me, and Captain Hastings.
End of list.
End of list.
And he's even like, if the King of England shows up, it's no dice.
Yeah, he says that.
Yeah.
Which is was so odd to me, but makes sense for the time period that the show is taking place.
Oh, okay. So the newspapers are simultaneously reporting that Michael Seton has been found dead.
Oh, yes. Which is why we set up in the beginning that Hastings is constantly reading the paper. Because he can constantly give news to Poirot.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is basically his role in this entire series.
Absolutely.
Anyway, so he's dead, and Poirot's like, interesting. I'm thinking about something. And then they start going through her stuff.
Yeah.
And
like a bunch of busybodies.
Yeah. And Hastings, Hastings in this moment is correct. And he's like, I feel weird going through this woman's underwear drawer.
Yes.
Can we not? And he's like, no, but we have to because someone's trying to kill her.
Yeah.
Well, okay, I guess. And then they find love letters from Michael Seton addressed to Magdala.
Yes.
And in Nick's drawers. Literally.
Ha-ha!
Both senses of the word. Nick gets a box of chocolates.
Yes.
And is this during the dinner with Freddy or nah?
No, this is not during dinner with Freddy. Because it's just Poirot and Hastings that have dinner with Freddy.
Oh, right. Okay. So Nick gets a box of chocolates.
Yes.
Well, at the hospital? Or
yes.
Yes.
They're sent to her.
Right.
Yes. Okay.
She, I believe, receives two. One from Poirot and one from, presumably, Poirot again.
Right. It says it's from Poirot.
Which is strange because in a scene before, someone says, I should buy her a fruit basket as he has bought her Poirot has bought her flowers, and he said, none of that, no food, that's so conspicuous.
Yeah, but also Poirot can send her whatever because...
Presumably, yes.
He's safe or something. And so she eats one of the chocolates, she becomes really ill because they find out it was laced with cocaine. Which, I guess, if you eat enough,
you can have an overdose of cocaine.
You can overdose on cocaine. So Poirot suspects, because Freddy is a cocaine addict. She has a watch
with cocaine powder.
It looks like a Fitbit, but it just has cocaine instead of steps.
That's genius.
Poirot's like, well, Freddy has all the coke, so she's probably the one that tried to poison Nick. And Freddy, as the best friend, would probably inherit. That is what we have assumed that is in the will, I think, because
no one has read the will.
No one can find this will. And Nick is like, I don't know, I put it somewhere, whatever.
I'm just so carefree. I'm a regular Dharma.
Yeah. So before she gets... the poisoned, she does confess, I believe, that she was engaged to Michael Seton.
Yes, because he pokes and prods enough.
Yeah, and that's why she was wearing black, because she was in mourning.
Yes, and that's why she is so distraught.
Yes, and that's why she was like, oh, my life is over, not because of her cousin.
Yeah.
I mean...
I have nothing now to live for.
I mean, she was a distant cousin that she was not terribly fond of.
Yeah, they bicker a lot, right?
Well, she just says that she's never any fun.
Yeah, I mean, we all got that one cousin that's just dour.
Yeah.
The dowager cousin, if you will.
Good Lord. I love it.
All right, so,
yeah. Poirot tells everyone that Nick has died.
Yes, as a lie.
So that is not true. Being like the lie. Meaning a lie is an untruth.
That is true, Melissa. A lie is something you say when it is not actual fact. Like vaccinations cause various illnesses.
Well, it could have been LYE.
Oh, yeah. The lie and...
Just to clarify for everybody, I'm going to have more coffee soon.
An untruth was spoken.
Mm-hmm, an untruth was spoken. And then they are like, Poirot's like, I know we haven't buried her yet, but I think we should all gather and read this will.
Yes.
Which they have now allegedly found.
Mm-hmm.
So they sit around a table and what's the guy's name? Charles? The cousin.
Oh, Vice.
Lawyer, Vice. Okay. The lawyer cousin sits down and says, okay, she mailed this to me. It's informal, but it's, official. Yeah. And it is revealed that the Crofts are the Australians. Just for your reminder, are the sole inheritors of everything because of what they did for her dad.
Yeah, because they've been working for the family for years.
Right, yeah. And Mrs. Croft makes a big fuss about what a thoughtful girl she was and how they wish they could tell her in person, what a good lady she is. What a good egg.
Which is not consistent with her opinion of her that is expressed prior.
Right.
Sure. And so Miss Lemon, by the way, is there.
Just rolls up.
And she is the best in this episode. She's always the best, but man, does she add a lot to this. And she is not in the book.
No, she's not in the book,
But she is absolutely delightful in this episode. Anyway, so they decide to do a seance. Poirot suggests that they do a seance and says that Miss Lemon is a practiced medium, and she's like, am I? Is that... yeah? Really? We're doing this?
I'm a rare kind of medium that's well done.
Yeah.
Let's all bow our heads in shame for a moment and pray for my disease to pass.
Yeah. So we start doing a seance, and then we take a quick break.
Ba-dum-bum-bum.
Hello everyone, this is Tristan, the Saucy Sleuth. I want to thank you for listening. You can still go to audibletrial.com/adcpod if you want to check out a free audiobook. Highly recommend Audible. I've been using it for the last 15 years. You can also go to patreon.com/TristanJMiller to support this program and a couple others like it. I do a podcast about anime with my girlfriend Christina Tucker called Animazing Podcast, as well as an interview podcast about mental health and the arts on which both Tyler and Melissa have been a guest. You can also go to thescavengersnetwork.com and check out their fine slots of programming such as Spooky Spouses, Historical Hotties, on which I and Melissa have appeared, as well as a lot of other content on YouTube and so forth. Highly recommend checking those out. Also, please, if you like the show, tell people. Also, rate, review, subscribe, all that. It really does help with our numbers and helps the show get popular, which is something we would like to do because we want to be popular. We really hope you enjoy the show, and we hope others do as well. All right, let's get back to it.
And we're back.
And we're summoning a ghost. And Miss Lemon...
This will reading has become a won't.
Oh! And so we get Miss Lemon, who is becoming increasingly more comfortable with this ruse, and starts, really chanting and summoning Nick. And then...
Nick!
That's exactly what she does. And then Nick, in all white, appears unto everyone.
Yeah.
A ghostly figure.
And she says, Ebenezer!
She just points to the cloak of her robe cape thing.
Cowl.
Yeah. And
got a cowl off here.
She's holding a scythe. No. But yeah, she appears and everyone's shocked because there's a ghost, and then they start being like, "Oh, hey, maybe you are corporeal." And it's like, "Oh no."
And then Freddy just stands up and just grabs her.
Yeah.
And wait a minute, I smell the perfume.
Yeah, right. We didn't realize that we had to stop wearing perfume to be a ghost.
That's what the vapor trails of a ghost are.
Oh my god.
Whatever cologne you have on,
is
yours for the rest of eternity.
Yep.
I got some good cologne. I'm good.
Yeah, absolutely.
Smell nice every day. You never know when you're going to pass.
Oh.
Well, I also want to be found as well, so maybe I shouldn't be wearing cologne. If it's a pleasant smell, people aren't like going to gravitate towards it as much, like to find a body.
Oh, I thought because you didn't want to be eaten by various animals when you're decomposing.
Oh, no,
like you would taste sweeter or something.
I mean, if I'm dead, like, by all means, animals have at me if that's the will of the Lord. But
it is as God wills that I be eaten by this coyote in Central Park.
Miss Lemon and Hastings are on the beach and they're talking about nicknames because they remark about the name Frederica and that you can only really do Freddie from that. And so
Ricky.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, you could, yeah. But then that's what they start doing. They start going off and like, oh, well, you know, like Elizabeth has so many. You could do Betty, Betsy, Liz, Eliza, blah, 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 blah. And then...
Her Majesty, the Queen.
Her Majesty, the Queen. And then they come to Margaret. And they start saying Meg, Madge, Maggie, Midge. You know, all this.
Miggs.
And then, yeah, Miggs. That nickname everyone knows. And
I have a friend named Miggs.
You do?
Yeah.
Oh, cool. And then Poirot like has a light bulb moment and is like, your stupid chatter has sparked something in me. So okay, we're back to the seance. We're back to present time, and so once it is revealed that Nick is in fact still alive, we get our big denouement. And Poirot's like, well...
That's French for a big deal.
Yeah, totally. And,
no cursing on the...
Not even in foreign languages. Yes. And, Poirot's like, so listen, I figured it out now. And no one really did have a reason to want you dead. But... you had a reason to want someone else dead.
Dum-ba-ba-down.
You are not the only person named Magdala Buckley. Your cousin Maggie was also Magdala Buckley.
It's a family name, which is the only reason two people should ever be named Magdala.
Yes. So, yes, Michael Seton, they had both met Michael Seton, and Nick was like, oh, great, I'm going to make him fall in love with me. This is fantastic because I need money to help fix up this old house and pay all my debts.
This old house.
And he has a really wealthy uncle who's, you know, not going to be alive for that much longer. And in fact, the uncle had died the week before, which is when the attempts on Nick's life started. So, when Michael Seton was also going to be clearly dead, his fiance would then inherit everything, so that would fix Nick's problems. Except the problem was, it wasn't her she was engaged to. It was Maggie.
Yes.
So she needed Maggie to be dead. Yeah.
So she just shot her own cousin in the face.
Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah. And then Poirot, once again, does this whack thing where when she goes to jail or to trial, she goes, I just need to take my watch. And he's like, okay. Where she's clearly going to overdose on cocaine. She's going to kill herself, and he just lets that happen.
Yeah.
Which is fascinating. And then also there's this weird thing where Challenger is clearly the cocaine dealer, which I didn't pick up on right away.
Yeah. And they do arrest him in this.
Yeah.
And I actually...
and the Australians forged that will.
Yeah.
Which they also get arrested for.
Yeah, the Australians.
Because everyone's like, that doesn't make any sense. I'm sorry.
Yeah. So I was looking up the differences between this adaptation. Well, I mean, looking up. I found a very brief summary of the differences between... and one of them that I did notice was that Freddie... The whole storyline about Freddie's abusive husband...
Gone.
Is not in this one. It's in the book. Listen to our earlier episode if you want to know more about that.
Yeah.
But so Freddie does not get that whole story. But yeah, also Challenger is not arrested in the
book.
Apparently. Yeah.
I also don't feel like it was as heavily implied or thrown in that he was the dealer.
No.
Yeah, that's
I don't
true.
think that's even part of it.
Yeah.
It might not be. But otherwise it is pretty faithful to it. But yeah, I mean, gosh, what must these deaths by hanging be like that he's like, oh yeah, you probably want to take the cocaine instead. Oof.
Well, I mean, it's either that or like life in prison as well, which is...
They didn't do that as much.
No.
They just, like, if you murdered someone, it was pretty much
Eye
death
for an
penalty.
eye.
Even for women, though? Like,
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
That's what's been heavily implied throughout these books.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know the actual laws in the books, but Agatha Christie implies heavily that, like, everyone's gonna get hanged. Why'd I make that a song?
That's from the sequel to Jesus Christ Superstar. That's about Judas.
Oh, God.
Another Bible reference on y'all.
I love it. That one I got.
Yeah.
Everyone knows that one because of the musical.
Yeah. So what did you think of this episode? Did you like it, dislike it? Why? What's good?
Is this a book report? It is a book report.
Yes, it is.
That's exactly what we're doing here.
Club.
Show your work. Explain. I guess I'm doing it. I liked this very much. And I think they did a really good job adapting it. Nick was great.
Yes, fantastic acting from her.
Yeah, lots of good funny bits.
I do like there's this thing with the acting in general that it is set in the 1930s and it feels like they're acting in a way that is like acting from the 1930s. It's very theatrical and it's very fun, but it's also, it works on a metatextual level and it also isn't bad acting, which is very nice.
Yeah.
It's like all believable, but it's very theatrical in a way that I enjoy.
Yeah, absolutely.
It makes it a lot more fun because if it was like normal acting, I think the charm would not be there at all.
Yeah, it's very charming. Always like a good beach story, and
we really do.
It's hilarious.
We really do.
Seeing them on the beach. I just love seeing them on the beach.
Do you guys want to go to Coney Island in like suits and dresses?
Oh yeah.
Just as a bit.
Sure.
Yeah, we could bring swimsuits as well and like change into them if you'd like.
I'm not going into the ocean.
Okay, we're not going to address that right now. Tyler, or were you not finished? I'm sorry.
I think I'm going to rate it.
Oh, okay, that might be smart.
Yeah. I think I'm going to give this one a solid 4.5.
Oh yeah. Yeah.
I give it a 3. I was not as enthused. If I could rate in part, I would have given like a 4.5 to episode 1, and then like a 2 to episode 2.
Okay,
But together, a 3.
Yeah.
I thought the second episode was a huge drag.
Was it a snooze?
Oh. Yeah, can I tell you on that? I agree. I missed 20 minutes of that second episode, and I was fine.
Yeah.
That my only issue with these two essentially short films are the fact that like you could have done this in one episode.
You could have like
just trim the fat.
Yeah, then they're 49-minute episodes. Like
you could have easily
cut some bits out. Like I didn't need the whole like Poirot trying to get the waiter's attention thing. Like he could have just walked and tripped.
Yeah.
Trying to do something. I didn't need that.
A lot of
there was just so many just like random like one-off like things that like just took up like 1 or 2 minutes here, so it didn't feel as egregious in the first episode. But when you put the two of them together, it's like, oh, you could have cut that out for the sake of getting it all done, or just done one longer.
Just do a longer episode.
Yeah, do one that's an hour 20 or an hour 10.
But it just wasn't necessary.
That's fair.
Yeah, and because of that, I would say about a 3 because like. It's good, it's solid, it's a decent adaptation, but I didn't enjoy it more than I would an average episode.
Okay.
I do like Nick. I do like that character. I think she's very fun. I think all the acting from David Suchet in this is phenomenal, specifically this episode. He has to deal with like a lot of weird emotional stuff in this one, I think, because there's a lot of moral gray area in this episode, which I also liked that exploration thematically of like not only is Nick like a amorphous amoral person, sometimes Poirot is too, because he is about objective reality, and sometimes objective reality isn't good. or bad. It's just neutral, which I think a lot of people have a hard time with shows like this that are about like law, because the law is a neutral force.
Sure.
How you use it,
Yeah.
it's kind of implied to be good, but like it's not good for everybody, clearly.
Yeah, it doesn't always work. Right?
Yeah. So there's that. I think I do enjoy how fun and silly it was. So maybe a 3.5, because like there were moments that were played for comedy that I enjoy. This show is at its best when there are jokes in it, I think, because there are times where they're very serious. Mm-hmm. But I also don't think that the acting style that I do enjoy lends itself to that kind of drama, because it becomes melodramatic and it is kind of silly to watch a lot of the time, I think.
Sometimes.
Yes. Those are my thoughts. Anything else?
No, I think it's
we're all
time
gonna,
hour.
yeah, we're all gonna lean in.
We're gonna just.
I'd like to thank you for listening. You can find us on Twitter, rate, review, subscribe, tell your friends.
ADC Pod on Twitter.
Go to that Audible link, please.
Yes, thank you.
Patreon.com/Tristan J. Miller. It does go to the other two people here too.
Yeah. Just flag it for ADC Pod. Okay. Thanks, guys.
Oh, bother.